Hello and welcome. If you're new here, do me a huge favor, click that subscribe button down below for content like this and many, many more. For all your current subscribers, thank you for watching and liking and sharing my videos. I really appreciate it. Now, what do I have next to me? This is the 2026 Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. I finally get my hands on it. This makes 329 horsepower and 339 pounds-feet of torque. Made it to a 6-speed automatic, not a CVT, and it's using Hyundai's hybrid system, which is a 2.5 liter turbocharged 4-cylinder engine paired with an electric motor, which drives the vehicle forward. I'm gonna talk about it, review it, go over all the incredible features and luxury features, because this is the calligraphy version. And the price for this one is $60,000 as tested, excuse me, because the color is optional and a couple little niceties. But anyway, thank you guys for tuning in. And before I go, thank you Hyundai for allowing me to have this Hyundai Palisade Hybrid Calligraphy in my home test area for me to test and review. Thank you very much, Hyundai. I really appreciate it. And you guys stay tuned. That's coming up. Okay, let's talk 2026 Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. This is the calligraphy trim. Base price for this in front-wheel drive form is about, in the all-wheel drive form is about $58,000. Like I mentioned in the beginning of the video, this one stickers for $60,000 because the color is optional, and then floor mats. That's pretty much it. It comes fully loaded. Let's start with the key. So this is what modern day Hyundai key looks like. So if you put it sideways, it's basically the Hyundai logo. So you have lock, unlock, remote start, panic, and on the side here you have the trunk opener, park forward and backwards. And let me just show you a quick demonstration. You press lock, you press and hold this button here, and Hyundai has the smart park feature. If you press this button here, you'll see the vehicle move forward. There is no one in the car, so which is a pretty neat idea. So if you have like a tight driveway, you can just press back, this back button here, and the car starts driving itself. Sometimes you have to get a little closer. It doesn't like it when you're too far, but nonetheless, as you guys can see, it's driving backwards. And let's talk about the styling. For 2026, Hyundai did a very good job with this refresh Palisade. This is, of course, the second generation of it, and the styling is very bold up front. This one is a big deal because it is a hybrid version. Like I said, it makes 329 horsepower and 339 torque. It's rated at 29 city and about 29 combined, which is, if it does it, I'll see in my week of testing to see what it does. But up front, you have this very large LED turn signals. They're flickering on camera, but in real life it doesn't flicker, and it does like a little dance. And you have this little light strip here. Your headlights are actually here, so low beam and high beam is here. It does have active grille shutters. Those two little on the vents on the bottom. If I turn the car back on quickly, I'll show you guys what that does, and you can see them opening up for more air and stuff like that. See, they do a little flap, so it's pretty cool. And yeah, and let's talk about it. This one being the calligraphy, it does have the 360 camera, which one of them lives right about there. There is one in each mirror. And all calligraphy trims come with calligraphy specific 21-inch wheels wrapped in Pirelli Scorpion tires. These are 265/45s. They're all season tires, and they're very classy looking. I do like the fact that in the calligraphy trims, the wheel wells are painted the same color. Also, I want to add that different versions of the Hyundai Palisade may have a slightly different face and grille. So the XRT, which I reviewed, I'll leave the links here somewhere, looks slightly different than this. It's more off-road focus and things like that. This one being the fancy one, everything's color match. As you guys saw, the mirrors unfolded because it detected that I'm near with the key. To get in it, you just put your hand on the door handle, Mirrors unlock, unfold, and to lock it, you just press this button here, which is nice. Sadly, it's only in the front two doors, not the rear. And it's a big boy. This guy has, obviously, it does have also a dual pane sunroof, as you can see. And this competes in a very competitive, large three-row SUV market. And let me just give you guys a side profile. That's kind of what it looks like. I do see a little bit of Range Rover-ish, especially in the back and the taillights. So let me lock it and see, and especially this corner right here, this little signature is definitely a little bit inspired by Range Rover, which is not a bad thing because they're pretty good looking vehicles. In the back, I love the fact that Hyundai hid the wiper underneath the spoiler, so you don't see it at all. And you have Palisade written huge right there, Hyundai logo, of course a hybrid badge, 8-track back, that's it. And then you do have parking sensors in the back. And one cool thing that this vehicle has, it has integrated parking cameras. Integrated dash cam. So there's one in the front and one in the rear. The rear one is hard to see, but it's behind the glass, right above where the Hyundai logo is. And as we speak, it's probably recording me right now. If the car was running, it will be recording me and show you guys what that looks like when you turn the car on, and show you what it looks like backing up. The reverse lights are all the way down there. Being a hybrid car, of course, it doesn't make any noise. You have the third brake light, which is absolutely ginormous. It goes all the entire width of the spoiler. And that's what the taillights look like when they're on, and the turn signal's inside. Super classy looking. I love the way this looks now. And let's open the hatch real quick. And let's take a look at the cargo area. Cargo area right here, it is absolutely massive. The seats, the third row seats are right now folded down. And if I fold them back up again, pressing these two buttons here on the side, you have to press and hold them. They, of course, come to life. They go up, obviously, and you have plenty of space behind the third row. As you guys can see, look at that, a lot of space back there. You do have a little bit of underfloor storage. I mean, the car's battery lives over here. You have the Hyundai mobility kit here. Let's see, yep, the tire mobility kit, the jack, and things of that nature. And it's a usable space. You do also have a 12-volt power outlet here. You could fold, actually, also the second row seats can also be folded. You could actually fold all of them. Let me see if I can do that. And this is actually, you press that button right here and you can fold every single seat, which it's a very, very good idea if you want to carry a lot of items. You can see, and that seat actually doesn't want to stay down because it's detecting something, but as you can see, it's massive. This is a very, very large vehicle. You can carry a lot of items in here. Definitely could do a lot of Home Depot and IKEA runs with this. And if you want to fold them back up again, you just press these. That's where the controls are. You can select the second row or the third row. Second row, you just press and hold them, and they come back up again, like so. We'll go over in the third seat in a second, but nonetheless, super convenient features. Of course, you could tell the car to close and lock. You could lock and close the valve, but for this purpose, you just fold the seat down like so. And there's a look at what the taillights look like. They are very bright. They're very bright at night, both headlights and taillights. And let's take a quick peek at the engine bay real quick before we go inside. And fuel economy is key in this vehicle. I mean, for something this large, Hyundai is claiming it can do up to 629 miles on one tank. which is amazing if it does it. So here it is. You have the 2.5-liter turbocharged engine, made it to Hyundai's dual motor electric hybrid system. That's the inverter. Those orange cables go into where the hybrid battery is. Otherwise, it looks like a very tidy engine bay. Thank you, Hyundai, for giving us hood shocks. This way you don't have to use a hood prop or anything. And that's pretty much it. Let's step inside. Let's go over the tech, the features, and the luxury features that this Hyundai Palisade Calligraphy Hybrid has. Stay tuned for that. Okay, let's step inside the Hyundai Palisade Calligraphy Hybrid. Getting in, of course, like I said, put your hand on the door handle. Mirrors on lock. Whether you touch it or if you're close to it, it will unlock the doors. It will unfold the mirrors and actually turn on the lights at night, and gives you like a kind of like a welcome light. But anyway, opening the door, it's a very, very nice space to be. This material, this is very soft. It does have a little dust here. It does have 2-position memory, so which you'll remember the mirrors and the seats, which we'll go over in a second. Everything is, of course, power everything, auto up and down, power folding mirrors, as you guys can see. It does have massaging seats as well for the driver's side only. And the pockets are deep, not too bad. You can put 2 cup holders, and you got a little bit of fabric material here. This one, being the calligraphy, has absolutely all the highest options, like the seats. These are Nappa leather seats. So these are very premium creme de la creme seats. You do have a lot of adjustability here. So you do have 4-way lumbar support, and you do have the thigh extension, as you guys can see, that does that. And it also has what Hyundai calls relaxation mode. So if you press and hold this button, you see the seat tilting back, and you see the ottoman reclining out. So I guess if you're waiting for your kids or the missus, you can just sit and relax and chill. And then to put it back, you just press the same button again, and it goes back to its position that you had it for. Both seats are also heated and ventilated for the front passenger and the second row passenger. Keep in mind, this is the calligraphy trim, and it does say so right there, calligraphy and any headrest. Very, very nice. Nice little pattern there. And you do have a door sills that says calligraphy on the doors. Let's step inside. Height is not too bad. I think it's about ground clearance, about 7.5 inches off the ground, which is not too terrible. So you don't feel like you're climbing into a 4x4 off-road vehicle. And this one, being black interior, it's hard to see the details. The lighter interior ones, you can see more details, but push your foot on the brake. Engine start button is on in the column now. And as you can see in front of me, there is dual 12.3-inch displays. One for instrument cluster duty, and this one is for the infotainment system. So, which is Hyundai's latest infotainment system. It does have wireless CarPlay, wireless Android Auto. And that's just actually the dash cam telling me it detected activity, which is me in the back of the car, of course. And let me turn on the climate control because it is got a little warm in here. But this system, Hyundai's new system, current day infotainment system, is very easy to use. Everything's very laid out easily. Here's your hybrid screen, your phone projection, voice memo, seats, setup, dash cam, weather, sports, valet mode, Hyundai Pay, and diagnostics. Super easy. It does have Alexa capability, so which means that you can essentially pair your vehicle and set up an Amazon Alexa task and say, hey Alexa, turn on my car, and it in theory should do it. I haven't tested it myself, but according to Hyundai, that's what it does. And this, in the hybrid screen, this is where all the hybrid stuff and information displays. So it says 24 miles per gallon, which is decent, but I gotta test it a little further. And if it does gives me a little higher, I'll insert the image afterwards. And it's a genius idea to have this vehicle be hybrid. just like other standard, moving down to the center console, just like standard Hyundai Palisades, you do have physical controls for home, map, search, media, track forward, backwards, favorites, and setup, a tuning knob, and an actual volume knob. Thank you, Hyundai, for doing that. And the climate control is kind of like a capacitive touches, so you have the ventilation, the heating. You could set the climate control to driver only if you're driving by yourself for efficiency. If you just turn that on, then it activates everything, front, rear, and you could turn on and off the rear right here. So that's the rear, and you could turn that on and off to make everybody comfortable. You could also lock out the rear so the kids don't mess with it. It does auto brake hold. What that means is when you put your foot on the brake, it activates the brakes for you, so you don't have to brake while you're driving. It does have different drive modes. So you do have Eco, Sport, and My Drive, which is a customizable drive. And the car also decides what to do. If you floor it, for example, it says you want power. Good, it gives you more power. And then if you click it one more time, then you have terrain mode. So you have snow, mud, and sand. And as you can see, the car turns on and it starts doing its thing based on the mode that you set it to. On the steering wheel, most modern day Hyundais no longer have the Hyundai H like back in the day. Instead, it has four dots, which is H in Morse code. So, and on the left side of the steering wheel, you have the controls for the automated cruise control. So you could turn it on right there, and then set your speed, set your distance. This also controls the center portion of the screen. So you have current trip after refueling, last reset, engine temperature, tire pressure monitoring system, power distribution, so it tells you what the all-wheel drive system is doing, if it's sending power to the front or if it's sending power to the rear. And this is the hybrid screen. So basically that is this. So if you want it while you're driving, you have navigation, or you have something else, you can of course display whatever you need. This vehicle can tow supposedly up to 5,000 pounds. So you can do your trailer. It does have an integrated trailer hitch in the back, so you can customize that. It does have, it's living underneath a panel in the rear. And there's a compass, little compass there. That's the adaptive cruise control screen. So it tells you if you turn it on, and if I could try to zoom in, it actually shows I'm braking. It shows the little car braking, which is kind of hilarious. And of course, if you turn on the turn signal, this vehicle has Hyundai's excellent blind spot warning and lane watch system, which what it does is it activates the camera on each of the mirror, which is a genius idea, and everybody should be doing this. And it does it, of course, for both. If you turn left, it turns it on, and if you turn right, it turns it on as well. And this vehicle, this one being the calligraphy, does have a heads-up display, and you guys can see the little floating 0 right about there, and that's where the projector is for the heads-up display. So it will display turn-by-turn navigation. It will display also blind spot warning information, and materials are very, very nice, soft padded. This one has suede headliner. Everything is black. And what else? Oh, and this mirror also is auto dimming mirror. Hello. So, and also has a camera, so you could flip it forward, and you could have a lot of people and stuff, and it doesn't matter because no one's going to get in your way, and you can see everything. You can customize the height of it, so you could do the brightness, and you can do the height and tilt it, so it kind of looks more like a traditional vehicle. So it's super cool, super useful tech. Every car should have that. It's super useful to have that in every vehicle, especially in a large SUV like this. Of course, being a modern vehicle, push on the brake, you click backwards for reverse, and it does have an excellent 360 camera with trajectory lines. And you can also click different views, and you can see the car there. You can spin it around and you can see the car itself. Fun fact, because this vehicle is white, the color actually matches the car on screen. Most cars that I've reviewed, sometimes the vehicle doesn't match the color. In this particular instance, it does. And you could do this. You can do a top-down view if you're hooking up a trailer, so you could really see and get very detailed information. That's the traditional view. Mirror cam. That's just a full screen back. Yeah, I mean, it's very useful tech for the most part. And of course, if you also push it forward, it activates the front camera. So that's the front camera, that's the 360 view. So it's, again, super useful technology in general. And push P to put it in park. The vehicle does have 100-watt USB-C ports everywhere. So you have 3 here. And this, you're probably wondering what that is. That is an ultraviolet device cleaner. Yes. So you turn this, you first you open the dual split center console. Let me move this napkins out of the way. And then you turn on this guy, and then you close the lid, and it supposedly cleans the devices and sanitizes them, which is interesting. And going back in there, it's a decent space. Not the deepest thing in the world. Not too bad. And it does have a wireless charger, and it's fast charging, in my ad. Also, this is the placement where if you set up Hyundai's digital key technology, the vehicle will recognize that your phone is here, and you can literally drive the vehicle without a physical key. The steering wheel is also heated, nicely padded. It is tilt and telescopic and manual. It should be power for $60,000. I know that there is a luxury brand of a luxury arm of Hyundai, and that's pretty much it up front. Let's jump into the back seats. Oh, and wait, before I go back to the back seats, these are the controls for the lighting. You can turn on all the lights of the car. Everything's LED. This sunroof, this is one of 2, so this is a manual shade, and this is where you open it. It slides out, and it's a decent opening space. Not too bad. Click it there to close, and the rear one has a automatic shade, so you can just press the button there and the shade completely closes. And of course, for the purpose of this video, I'll keep it open. And you also have 2 cubbies. You have a cubby right here, kind of like a little partial shelf there. You can put that there, and you also have a shelf right over here. So right here, you also have a 12-volt charger. Super convenient to put whatever you need here. And the seats also, the passenger seat also can be moved if you want to move it, which is not a good idea to show this to your kids, but you can move it from here, and you can move it forward, backwards. And it also has, each seat has USB-C ports right here to charge your devices. All right, let's jump into the back seats and go over the back seats, third seats, and then we go for a quick drive and final thoughts. Stay tuned for that. Stepping into the back seats is when you see that having this, how large this vehicle is, because it is very large. And materials in the back continue to be as excellent as in the front. You do have a very, very deep grab handle. The windows are auto up and down, and it's nice to see that they go all the way down. Also, it has integrated sunshades. How nice is that? And I think every vehicle should have that integrated. I'll continue to say it in all my videos. No matter what it is, sedan, SUV, pickup truck, every car should have that. Super nice. Cup holders right here. You do looks like a device holder. Nice little speaker grill. And this is actually interesting. It does have a blind spot warning for the rear. So if they say you're parked and you're trying to get out and the kids are trying to open the door, or anybody, this will eliminate and blink, and it also will not let you get out. It will not open the door. Door handles kind of like circle. It does have Palisade door sills in the back. These seats are just like the front. They're heated and ventilated back here because it's the calligraphy trim. And these headrest kind of reminds me like an airliner or like a fancy limo. Look at that. You could just do this and get really comfortable back here. And they're also power. So you can, of course, adjust them like here. You can adjust the controls there. You can move them forward and backward. So let's get in. Let's step inside. Again, stepping height is not terrible. And I am 5'8". The seat is adjusted to how I drive. And I have plenty of space in here. This headrest could be a little lower. And there's a look at what the instrument cluster looks like. There's the small sunroof. And looking on the top, the controls moved from the center up here. So here you have automatic climate control. Linked to the front, you do have the seat ventilation and heating. And you can control the temperature. The vents are all ceiling mounted back here, which is nice and super convenient. And the center console, you do have a 115 volts, 150 watt max household style outlet right there. And you have an actual drawer, so you can put whatever you want in here. Super useful. It does have pockets and behind each seat. And you do have a little pass-through that you can get to the third row seat. And again, the seats are super comfortable, super nice. And for context purposes, let me just turn them from the front around. And I have plenty of leg room in here, and I can do this. This seat has this relaxation mode. If I push in the button similar to the front, I can really just chillax here, kind of like a limo, and I'm very comfortable. Very, very comfortable. I can feel the cooling seats doing their thing, and it's super nice, super comfortable. Kind of like a limo, like a luxury limo back here. All right, let's jump into the third seat, and then we go for my final drive and final thoughts. Stay tuned for that. All right, let's jump into the third seat, and you can just press this guy here, press and hold it, and you can see the seat kind of tilts forward, and it looks like you could leave a car seat in place, and the seat does that. So you can, of course, get in. You have all the access in the world for the third seat. And let me just put this seatbelt here, this second row passenger seatbelt. And you do have little steps, which is nice. So you have a step right here and right there, so you can get in and out. And I'm 5'8", and let me close the door. And of course, if you leave the seat like that, you have plenty of room here. It's like a limo. But let me put the seat how it was as much as I can. And let's see. Nope. It's kind of hard to do from here. Let's see if I can kind of do it from back here with one hand, which is a little difficult. Okay, there you go. And let me push it forward a little bit. I mean, I'm 5'8", not the biggest person in the world, but I do have room in here to sit back here. The seats are heated 3 levels, which is super rare in this category. The seats you can also recline. You can also move the third row seat also back. Once you do that, then you gain a lot of space. And it's not a penalty box. You can technically sit 2 people here across. You do have USB-C ports here. You do have 2 cup holders, speaker. The window's a decent size. You do have air vents, lighting everywhere. You got LED lighting back here, which is nice. You could just touch it and it turns on. And if I spin the camera around, this is what it looks like in the third row seat of the 2026 Hyundai Palisade Calligraphy. Not a bad place to be. Whatever Hyundai did to hide the batteries, they did an excellent they did an excellent job, because there's no penalty to sit back here with this hybrid vehicle. And again, you can just do this with the seats. You can fold it. You can do this, move it forward. You can move it a little bit forward like so. And if you really want to recline it, you can kind of recline it and just relax here. Not a bad place to be. All right, let's take this Hyundai Palisade for my hybrid for my first drive and final thoughts. Stay tuned for that. All right, let's drive the 2026 Hyundai Palisade Calligraphy Hybrid, aka this is the top trim. So the vehicle is in eco mode, so I'll just leave it the way it is because you want the hybrid one. If you buy the hybrid version, it's because you want fuel efficiency, but it does have, of course, sport mode. And on paper, the numbers sound very promising. 329 horsepower and 339 pounds-feet of torque. It's more than enough to get something this big up and going, especially when you have a car full of people and their stuff. So, but off the bat, I'm pretty sure that screen is not being picked up by the camera, and I apologize for that, but you could do it and set up the hybrid screen and you could see more or less what's going on with the vehicle. But this is very comfortable. Even though this thing has 21-inch wheels, it's very quiet, very smooth. All the windows are double pane glass. This one being the calligraphy trim with the Nappa leather seats, it also feels very plush, very quiet. Heads-up display is also very good. It could be a little bigger. It is actually shockingly small compared to other vehicles that I've driven, which is something that can be easily fixed in the next version of the car. Hyundai's infotainment system is excellent. This new version of Hyundai's infotainment it's very good. You do have paddle shifters here, so you can manually shift the car into different modes. And there's that beautiful lane watch camera, which is excellent in my opinion. And let's see what it does in merging and passing. And hopefully there is no police. Nope, there is no police vehicles here. Usually this is where they like to hide. And stepping on it, yeah, it's not bad. It's not bad. It's excellent. It's very good. You are going to hear the engine, obviously, because it is a 4-cylinder engine, so which is expected. But let me set the cruise control here to the speed limit, and let me turn on Hyundai's driving assist, and it does a good job. As you can see, it's keeping me in the lane. Obviously, this little eye tracking system keeps an eye on you. If you're not paying attention, it will give you a little warning. Like right now, it just told me that, it just told me I'm not holding the steering wheel, and that car just merged into in front of me, which appears on the screen as well and on the heads-up display. So if I change it to the cruise control screen, you could see what it does. And also Hyundai does have like I said, highway driving assist, which is on certain highways it will completely take over and it will do the stop and go driving forward, backwards, which is very good. You know, Hyundai system is very good. It's been around for a little while now. And just for context purposes, I am getting right now 22.3 miles per gallon. Obviously, your mileage may vary depending how you drive. If you have a lead foot, clearly you're not gonna get great gas mileage. But being that this is a hybrid vehicle in town and in slow speed situations, you are driving primarily on electric only. So right now, I just got off the highway. The engine, of course, turns off. It turns on now because I have the climate control, but if I turn off the climate control and I just coast and you try to really, really feather the gas, I'm doing about 35 now, and I'm driving on electric only, completely. Engine turns on, of course, when it needs to. I'm going up a hill. This is a heavy vehicle after all, so it will, of course, I will of course turn on. So now of course I'm stopped. I'm about to make a left, and complete silence. Complete silence. You don't hear anything. And if you really are light on the gas, on the accelerator pedal, it will stay in electric only as much as it can. So right now I am in electric only, and yeah. But anyway, this has been my first review and drive of the all-new 2026 Hyundai Palisade Hybrid. It's an excellent vehicle. Leave me your thoughts in the comments below. What do you like? What do you don't like? And if you have any questions, feel free to also leave me in the comment section. I read every single comment and try to get back to all of you when I can. And on that fine note, thank you guys for watching, and I will see you all on the next one. Take care and stay safe.